So, Dr. Ian, welcome to, I don't think he's never been on the show. Welcome
Yeah,
to Black Authors Matter TV. You've been to the
good.
festival, but this is your first time being a guest on our show.
It is my first time. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I already
Thank you
showed
for being here.
a copy of the book, the new book that's coming out. And or is it out yet? What was the release date?
It came out last week.
Okay, last week. Okay.
Yay.
Well, congratulations
Is
on
that a
that.
standalone or is it part of the
No,
Ash
no,
the
no, it's
Ash
not a
King?
standalone. It's part of the Ash
Okay.
King. It's an Ash King novel.
Well, I don't think I can read that book yet because I have to read my books in order.
Well, well, it's interesting you say that. So I wrote all the books as standalones so that
Okay.
in case people want to start with the most current book, they can Beyond Midnight. But there are some people who are, idiosyncratic readers. They like to go one to the
Yes.
beginning. So The Unspoken is the first one in the series, but
Yes.
you won't lose anything by starting with Beyond Midnight. Put it that way.
Okay. Well, I read The Unspoken and I enjoyed it. Um, Ash is a little smart mouth something. He always has a little comeback.
Yeah, that's who he is. I mean, he's a very intelligent guy. He's very authentic. He's always who he is, no matter what company he keeps or where he is in the city of Chicago. He's always going to be Ash Kane, and part of that is his wry sense of humor and his sarcasm, and at times his self-deprecation.
Okay. Now,
Mm,
are you from Chicago?
I'm not from Chicago, but I live in Chicago.
Okay. All right. So, because I was thinking you lived in New York, but
I
um,
used to.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
Because normally, like the setting, some people have a setting in a city they don't live in or they've never lived in, but it's easier if the setting is a city that you live in,
and it feels more
well,
authentic.
unless you
well,
create a fictional city or town, and then it doesn't matter.
that's exactly right. And I've always believed, and I purposely wrote the Ash Kane novel so that Chicago is not just the setting, but it's also a character in the book. I want people to be sensory stimulated by Chicago. So I want them to hear it, see it, smell it, and taste it. So I take these cases because every book is a case that Ash is working on. But I go through all the neighborhoods, whether it's the affluent north side or the gritty south side, or the mix of the west side, downtown to the lake, on the river. I take you everywhere. And I think it's very difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I think that to try to write an actual city that exists and never to have lived there or spent a lot of time there is very difficult. Um, you'd be better off creating your own city and making it up as you go. So
Mm.
I've lived in Chicago for a long time, and so it's my city. I know it. And one of the greatest compliments I get from fellow Chicagoans and from those who've never been to Chicago is when they say, "Wow, I felt like I was in the city, I was at the
Yeah.
restaurant, I was in the streets."
Okay, yeah.
That's actually a huge compliment because I have read books. I say this a lot on the show. I'm from New Orleans, and I've read books that take place in New Orleans, and it's so obvious sometimes that the author is not from New Orleans and probably was only in New Orleans for Essence Festival or Mardi Gras because they the only places that they reference are these tourist spots, or they make it seem like the characters who are supposed to be locals only go to the French Quarter and eat breakfast at Cafe Du Monde. And I'll tell you that locals, we're not checking for Cafe Du Monde like that. We might go if we have a hankering for it, but we are not going to breakfast there.
Well, and by the way, I've been to Essence Fest a couple of times. I ate at Cafe Du Monde, yes, because you have to do that as a visitor. But
Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, what I try to do is I want people to see not just the touristy part. So obviously you got to go to
yeah,
Navy Pier in Chicago, Lake Michigan, but I want people to see the parts that the Chicagoans know. You know what I mean? I want
Hmm.
to take you to the South Side to Jackson Park. I want to take you to
Hmm.
Hyde Park. I want to take you to these different places that people don't often talk about. Everyone talks about the Magnificent Mile and all the expensive shopping on Michigan Avenue, but my goodness, that's a sliver of Chicago, just a sliver.
okay,
Yeah,
Sliver, you're right about that.
yeah, and it's true that you do need to spend time. Uh, you need to have spent some time in a city that you're describing. I have a two-part novel series And for the second part, well, I live in Houston, so this both books takes place in Houston. But for the second book, I wanted to have a location and an excerpt. And so I just like randomly went online to find something like 70 miles, 50 to 70 miles from Houston. And then I said, you know what? I have to go visit this place because I can't just Google it. So we took a day to go to this little town, Brookshire. Um, and so I could describe it, and I recorded myself going down different streets. It's a real small little place, but they have um, interestingly, three major companies have like warehouses there or distribution places. So that was interesting. Amazon was one of them, and then I think Igloo, and I forgot what the other one was. But anyway, I had to get in the car and go and spend a day there. And then I was able to write about the trip there, like what I passed along the way, and like different places. So it is important because it's important to really be an authentic story. You really do have to spend some
Even for
time
me,
there.
even for me, I've been in Chicago for many, many years. And even for me, in a city that I live in and travel the streets all the time, if I'm writing about a particular neighborhood that I'm not overly familiar with, I get into the car, I go to that neighborhood, and I just drive around, I sit, I look,
Good
I try to
idea.
feel the neighborhood. You have to do it.
Yes.
So what kind of adventures is Mr. Ash getting into right now?
So this is the case of a undocumented worker is found
Hmm.
on the rocks on the shores of Lake Michigan, and the police have called it an accidental drowning. And the book opens up with a young guy who's also a caddy, a golf caddy, works at a golf country club. It opens up with the golf guy coming to Ash saying, listen, the police are saying that my uncle drowned, and there's no way he could have drowned accidentally because, number one, my uncle didn't know how to swim, and number two, he was deathly afraid of water. He would never go near the water. So the fact that he was found on the banks of Lake Michigan does not register. And Ash, being Ash, never wants to take a case, but he takes the case because of his true love, which is golf, and because this kid is a really good golfer, and they do a swap. Ash says, I will take on your uncle's case if you give me some tips on my golf swing. And the journey begins.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Now
my
I have a
God.
question about your switching roles in your books. You have the books that deal with health and wellness and eating and lifestyle, exercising, and then you have the mystery series. So it's like one side of the brain versus the other side of the brain. And now you are a doctor of what?
So I'm a physiatrist, not psychiatrist, but I'm a rehab doctor, physiatry.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're what made you start writing mysteries?
I've always loved mysteries. I've always read them since I was young. I've always wanted to write them. It's just that the other part of my life got in the way, going to medical school, becoming a doctor, going on TV, all these great things, by the way. But the health books were a natural offshoot of what I was doing in my career,
Mm,
most of my career. And so obviously everyone looked at me as the medical guy and the health guy and wellness guy. And so I did it. But predating that, I always read fiction and read mysteries and thrillers. And so I always had an inkling inside of me. One day I want to write a great detective series like Robert Parker in Boston wrote Spencer, for example. And so I finally got to the point in my career where I'd written so many of the health books, they had been very successful, that I basically twisted the arm of my publisher and said, listen, if you want another health book, you got to publish one of my mysteries.
And
And
see, that's
so
when you know you're successful. You can
yes,
have that type of leverage.
right.
I had some leverage. I had some leverage. And so that's how it began.
Is it kind of like taking a break? Can you almost like maybe decompress when you're kind of totally departing from medicine for a while?
I got to tell you, it is so enjoyable to go back and forth because it really fulfills both sides of my brain. Everyone thinks that doctors are just these nerdy science geeks who only think about medicine and health and biology and chemistry. It's not true. doctors are human beings. We drive cars, we watch TV shows, we go to the movies, we read books that are not medical books. So for me, I'm a creative. I love creating. I've always loved to create. So it's wonderful for me when I'm writing. For example, I just finished writing a book on menopause. And I'm going to have my good friend Rachel Ray do the recipe. So it's basically helping women
Ooh.
treat their menopause or try to alleviate some of their symptoms through eating. And so I just finished that book. Now I'm writing Ash Kane again. And so it's wonderful because now my brain is completely free and flowing with ideas and just creating stuff. And so, yes, it's a great kind of reprieve or release to be able to go into a world of fiction and just create what I want.
Well, maybe in a future book, you can have Ash Kane have a client who's a menopausal woman, and
Her name is Rhonda.
and something, some kind of storyline, so you can kind of weave those two together.
Everyone has said that to me. I don't know why I haven't done it. Now that I've heard it again, I just got to do it. They said, why don't you ever like put one of the characters on one of your diets?
Yeah.
Really not that's a great commercial for your diets.
I know. So
Well, you could change the name of the dietitian or the doctor in the book. It wouldn't necessarily be you, because that probably
Right.
wouldn't
But it'll
work.
be his diet,
It'll
though.
be his diet. It'll be your
Yeah.
diet.
So I'm working on that. The one I'm working on now, this book, the next Ash Kane, I'm really excited about. It's mostly based on Mechanic. Mechanic is Ash Kane's right-hand man. He's a Lithuanian guy, very tough, very violent. And a lot of people, particularly my cousin, have asked me, why can't you give Mechanic more action in the books? We love him, more action. So this next book is all about Mechanic, and it's about some issues that he's trying to solve. And so Ash and Mechanic are working together to deal with a mechanic issue. So it's going to be a lot of physicality. It's going to be a lot of shooting. It's going to be a lot of slapping. It's going to be a lot.
A lot of action.
Yes. And so I'm having fun time just writing it because Mechanic is a very different character than Ash. You know, Ash is very verbose, talks a lot, as you said, sarcastic, likes to crack a joke at inopportune times, and Mechanic says nothing. Mechanic speaks with two things, his gun and his fist. And so it's fun writing this because now I can kind of bring this character more to life.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the guy in The Godfather. The one that they said if he had sold out, they were really in trouble.
That's right.
And he was a man of few words. I can't think of his name. He does have a violent death, but there's a lot of violent deaths in Godfather.
So. But also when you think of Mouse for in the Easy Rollins.
That's what I thought about when you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of these great series, the Easy Rollins series. He's like Mouse. Mouse is like that.
Yeah, Mouse has a very famous line. He said, well, if you didn't want me to kill him, why'd you leave me alone with him?
Now that is a great line. That's the kind of stuff that you got to respect. That's great writing right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we go, because we're at the end of our time, because our segment was cut short. But that's okay. I'm glad that you were able to. I remembered that I had your number, and that's I had totally forgotten that I did.
I messaged you on Instagram. I was like, he gonna answer.
You know what happened? In all honesty, I'm here in LA now. I'm in a hotel room, but I was flying into LA. I'm on book tour, and the flight was late. And trying to drive up, I was just running late.
Oh, okay. And so you're in a different time zone altogether.
That's why it's still daylight where he is.
Different. Yeah. So we are going to be in touch about next year. We have something special that we're thinking about, wanting to run it by you, and just be on the lookout.
Okay. Listen, I'm always looking to do something new, so please let me know.
Okay, we'll do. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on your book release. And I am going to get started with your books, but with Ancient Nine. That's the one I'm going to do.
Yeah, my Harvard Secret Society book. Let me just say before I go, I created something really fun. I created a $1,000 giveaway for the first person who can solve 4 clues. There are four sets of clues, 4 answers It's on my Instagram page at Dr. Ian Smith, spell the doctor out, IAN Smith, and on my Facebook page. And there are 4 sets of clues related to Beyond Midnight. Whoever's the first person to get all 4 right, they get $1,000. So I figured let people have some fun trying to be a detective like Ash Kane.
Oh, okay.
Now
Well,
that is fun.
Mhm. Yeah,
I love that.
that's an assignment that gives me some encouragement to maybe read the books out of order. So, so anyway, thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and again, congratulations, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you. Take
Nice
care.
talking with you. Thank you,
All
Dr.
right.
Ian.
Yep. See you.